The door chimes as I step into the quiet grocery store, the scent of fresh produce and the hum of soft music filling the air. My mind is on autopilot as I make my way to the aisle, grabbing what I need without thinking, distracted by the usual busy thoughts that come with the routine of a single mom's life. Then, it happens. I feel it before I see him, the sudden change in the atmosphere. That heavy, almost suffocating tension that wraps around you. I turn, and there he is, John. My ex-husband. The man who walked out of my life 15 years ago. The one who abandoned me because he thought I was infertile. I freeze for a second, my heart skipping a beat. The years, the pain, the anger, all come rushing back in an instant. His eyes widen as they lock with mine, and for a moment, we both just stand there, staring at each other like strangers caught in a strange reality. His face is older now, the lines around his eyes deeper, the hair starting to grey at the temples.
But it's him, unmistakably him. I can feel his nervous energy, the way his hands tremble slightly, the way his mouth opens and closes as if he's unsure of what to say. And then, his gaze moves to my son, who's standing beside me, his teenage face filled with curiosity. For the first time in what feels like forever, I see John's expression change completely. His eyes widen in disbelief. His mouth goes dry, his legs wobble as if he might collapse right there. The fear in his eyes is so raw, it's almost palpable. His mouth opens again, but no words come out. He stumbles back, his entire demeanor crashing down in front of me. He looks like he's just seen a ghost, and in that moment, I realize that he's seen something he never expected to see. My son, standing there in all his 14-year-old glory, my son, has made him tremble. He doesn't know it yet, but this moment is about to change everything. This is the moment John will understand everything he's missed. The child he abandoned, the child he never knew was his, is standing right in front of him. I could feel it in my chest, a rush of conflicting emotions. Shock, anger, and something else I hadn't felt in years. Satisfaction, but I don't say anything. I just stand there, waiting for him to speak. For him to explain. For him to face the consequences of the lie that tore our lives apart. I think back to all the years since he walked out. Back to the heartbreak of finding out he'd left because of a lie. The lie that I was infertile. The lie that he didn't want to face the reality of me. He didn't believe in me, didn't trust me when I said we'd have a family. He didn't even give me a chance, but it didn't matter anymore. Because I had my son. The son he'd walked away from, and now, he was about to find out the truth. John was always the kind of man people admired. Tall, handsome, confident, with an easy smile that made everyone feel like they were the most important person in the room. He had a way of making you feel seen, heard, like you mattered. When we first met, I thought I'd found the one, a man who could sweep me off my feet and make all my dreams come true. We got married quickly, the excitement of young love pushing us to jump into the future without hesitation. But beneath his charm, there was always something more, a desire for control. He was the kind of man who needed things to fit perfectly into his vision of life. And for John, that vision included having children, a family of his own, and the idea that he and I would build this perfect little world together. For a while, everything was perfect. But the pressure to conceive started to take its toll. Every time I had to take another test or visit another doctor, I could feel the weight of his disappointment settling over me. He'd get quieter, more distant, and though he never said it out loud, I could see it in his eyes. He was losing faith. Losing faith in me. The day he told me he was leaving was a blur. The words, "I can't stay with you," echoed in my head, but the reason he gave me was clear: you can't have children. He didn't even give me the chance to prove him wrong. He believed the doctors who said there was a problem, that I was infertile, and instead of supporting me, he turned away. I begged him to stay, to trust me, but he was already gone, making excuses about needing to start over, needing a future that was certain. I was devastated, broken in ways I didn't think I could ever recover from. It wasn't just about the marriage, it was about being dismissed, being told that I wasn't enough because I couldn't give him what he wanted. I questioned my worth, my ability to love, and if I'd ever find happiness again, but life has a way of surprising you when you least expect it. I spent years healing, moving on in ways I never thought possible. I threw myself into work, into making sure I was strong enough to face the world alone. And then came my son, my beautiful, perfect son, who I had with someone who never doubted me for a second. A son I raised on my own, with all the love I had left to give. And with him, I was whole. For the first time, I felt complete, like I didn't need anyone's validation. I didn't need John's validation. Over the years, I noticed something. My son looked so much like John. Same smile, same eyes, same way of moving. But I never thought about it. I didn't want to. I'd buried that part of my past so deep that even the thought of it caused pain. And besides, it didn't matter anymore. John wasn't part of my life, and neither was his judgment. I didn't care how much they looked alike. I didn't care about the past. Until now, the silence stretches between us, thick and heavy, like a storm that's about to break. John stands there, his face pale, his eyes locked on my son. His mouth opens and closes, as if searching for words, but none come. It's a look I've never seen from him before, a mixture of confusion, fear, and something deeper. The moment feels like a lifetime, and then, in a voice barely above a whisper, he stammers, "Is he?" I nod slowly, the weight of those two words hanging in the air. "Yes, John. He's yours." The world seems to stop in that moment. His hands shake, his breath catches in his throat, and I watch as he staggers back, like a man who's just had the earth pulled out from under him. His eyes flicker between my son and me, the pieces of the puzzle coming together too late. I've been holding this secret for years. 15 years of silence, of pain, of pretending like the man I once loved had never existed. When he left, I made a promise to myself. I would never let him back into my life. I would raise our son alone, and I would make sure my son never knew the truth about why his father left. I was done with him, but now, seeing the regret in his eyes, watching him crumble in front of me, it's not as satisfying as I thought it would be. It's a mixture of emotions: anger, hurt, disbelief. I had wanted this moment for so long, had dreamed of him feeling the weight of the lie he believed. But in the end, seeing his guilt, his fear, it only reminds me of the pain he caused. I flash back to the years after he left. The nights spent crying in bed, wondering what was wrong with me. The financial struggle of trying to make ends meet, raising a child alone without any support. I had to work double shifts just to keep food on the table. There were days when I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror, feeling like a failure, like the man I loved had been right to walk away. He had abandoned me, abandoned us, without a second thought. He didn't even give me a chance to fight for us, but I did fight. I fought for my son. I fought for the life we built, even when it felt like the whole world was against me. And now, here he was, standing in front of me, trembling, asking for forgiveness that I wasn't ready to give. "I'm sorry," John whispers, his voice breaking. "I never should have left. I didn't know." The words feel hollow. Sorry. The word he's using is the same one I'd heard countless times over the years, from the same man who thought he knew everything. But it's too late now. The hurt runs too deep, the betrayal too fresh. This apology is meaningless. I swallow hard, looking away from him and back at my son, who stands there, confused but silent. "You're sorry? You think saying that is going to fix all of this?" I shake my head, my voice rising with the anger I've kept buried for so long. "You left us for a lie, John. And now you want to come back into our lives because you feel guilty? Well, it's too late." The days following the encounter with John feel like a blur, a whirlwind of emotions that I can't seem to sort through. Part of me feels vindicated, like a weight has finally been lifted. For years, I've carried the hurt of his abandonment, of the lie he chose to believe, and now, seeing the look on his face, knowing he regrets leaving us, there's a sense of justice. He gets it now, but there's also an emptiness that I wasn't expecting. I thought that once he saw the truth, once he realized the life he abandoned, I'd feel some sort of closure, some satisfaction. But instead, all I feel is nothing. The pain isn't erased by his guilt. The hole he left in my heart isn't filled by his apology. I look at my son, standing next to me, his expression unreadable. I see the way he's looking at John. There's a certain distance, a hesitation that tells me everything. He's only 14, but he understands more than I wish he did. His father abandoned him, without explanation, without a second thought. Even though he doesn't remember John, even though I never spoke badly about him, I know it hurts. We sit down together, just the two of us. The conversation I've been dreading begins, but I know it's time. "Mom, is he really my dad?" he asks, his voice small, unsure. I take a deep breath, my heart aching for him. "Yes, sweetheart. He's your father. But that doesn't change anything about who you are, or who I am. We are a family, just the two of us, and that's enough. You are enough." The silence hangs between us for a moment before he nods slowly. There's a sadness in his eyes, a burden he didn't deserve, but I can see the strength in him, the same strength I had to find after John left. As I watch my son, I realize something. I don't need John anymore. I've built a life, a beautiful life with my son, and it's enough. I am enough. The hurt still lingers, but it's no longer at the center of my life. The realization that John can't take anything from me anymore, that the life we created together is built on a foundation of love and resilience, is the final piece of closure I needed. I've learned something important in all of this. Forgiveness isn't about them. It's about me. It's about letting go of the weight that someone else put on my shoulders. Moving forward doesn't mean forgetting, it means choosing to live fully, without the chains of the past holding me back. The weight of the silence between us grows heavier with each passing moment. John's guilt is still hanging in the air, but I can feel something shifting. There's a tension in his posture, a nervous energy that wasn't there before. It's almost like he's searching for the right words, but he's afraid of what might come next. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, he speaks, his voice low and hesitant. I didn't trust you, Anna. Not completely. I freeze. His words hit me like a punch to the stomach. What do you mean? I ask, my voice trembling despite myself. He looks away, his eyes darting around as if trying to avoid the weight of the truth. When you said you couldn't get pregnant, part of me didn't believe you. There was always this doubt. I thought maybe you were hiding something, that maybe you just didn't want to have a child with me. My heart pounds in my chest as I try to process what he's saying. He didn't trust me. After everything, the years we spent together, the love we had, the plans for our future, it all crumbled because he couldn't trust my word. You think I would lie about something like that? I say, my voice rising with a mixture of disbelief and hurt. You left because you thought I was hiding something? You didn't even give me a chance to prove myself. John runs a hand through his hair, a nervous tick that only deepens the pain in my chest. I thought it was just me. I thought I was the problem, that I was the one who couldn't have kids. I didn't want to face it. So I convinced myself it was you, that you were somehow infertile. I can't breathe. This is the moment I've been waiting for, the moment where he admits the truth. But it doesn't feel like victory. It feels like another betrayal. I take a step closer to him, my voice steady but filled with years of pent-up emotion. Well, John, you were wrong. I was never infertile. Our son, he's yours. We could have had a family. But you didn't trust me. You didn't give me a chance to prove it. As I walk away from John for the last time, the weight of everything that has happened lingers in the air, but it no longer feels suffocating. There's a strange clarity that I didn't expect. For the first time in years, I feel light, not because the past is behind me, but because I've let go. My son walks beside me, his hand in mine, and I realize how much I've grown since John left. We've both grown. When he first walked out, I thought my world was over. I thought I'd never recover, that I would be stuck in the shadow of his abandonment forever. But now, as I look at the life I've built, I see it for what it truly is, my own. I don't need John's approval anymore. I never did. When I was younger, I thought I would only be complete with him by my side. But I see now that I was already whole. I had always been enough. My son is thriving. He's a bright, strong, kind young man, and watching him grow, knowing I did that, I gave him everything I could, is the greatest achievement of my life. He is the legacy I wanted to build. John stumbles back, his face paling as he stares at me. What are you talking about? I swallow hard, my next words coming out in a rush, a final revelation that I've kept buried for all these years. I kept the truth from everyone, especially you. Our son was conceived naturally. I never told you because you never gave me a chance. You left before I could even tell you I was pregnant. I raised him alone, and I kept it a secret because I knew if you found out the truth, you might try to come back. But I didn't want that. I didn't need you anymore. John's face twists in confusion, then sorrow, as he processes the full weight of what I've just revealed. I can see the realization dawning in his eyes, the full extent of the loss, the regret that now hits him like a wave, all these years of pain, of anger, of feeling like I had been abandoned for something I didn't even do. It could have been avoided. If only he had trusted me. If only he had believed in us. His proof that I didn't need John, or anyone, to validate my worth, but there's still a part of me that wonders, after everything, after all the pain, the betrayal, the years lost, is forgiveness even possible? Can I forgive him for all the ways he hurt me, for the way he walked away from a family without looking back? Can I forgive him for the years of pain I've carried in silence? And yet, as I feel the soft breeze on my face, as my son talks excitedly about his day, I know the answer may not matter anymore. I've built a life that I'm proud of, and maybe closure isn't something I'll ever get from him. Perhaps it's something I've already found within myself, but I can't help but ask, could I ever forgive him, or is some damage too deep to heal?